Hi there, scrapbook friends, Louise with you today. Thanks so much for checking out this video. It's a 9x12 layout share and it is for my Bali album. So I decided that I was going to use some of the new products that I recently purchased. It always has such a good feeling when we have new products in our stash, and with that in mind, I really felt like I should just get in and use them. I often put them to the side and sometimes I'll either forget about them or I might pick something else to work with, and then it doesn't have that same kind of new shine that it does when you first unbox things. So let's go ahead and create something with a bit of a fun background. So a combination of ink stamping, and I'm also going to do some heat embossing with this stamp set. So this is from Craft Online. Now, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape or form, so I simply purchased them as a scrapbooker, and this particular stamp set really grabbed my attention straight away. I believe it's from a brand called Poppy Crafts, and it's at a really good price point as well. So I think yeah, in terms of creating a really easy background, I'm going to start just with some black ink. Now, the VersaFine is my favorite black ink. I'm not a huge stamper and I'm not a huge ink fan, but this one, the word fine is in the title for a reason, because it really helps to elevate those fine details in your stamping. So you can absolutely see that I have not prepped this background paper in any way. I'm just stamping directly onto the paper, and I'm using a couple of different ones of the circles, and I'm going to cut out just a little bit of this video here, because once you've seen me stamp a few circles, I'm sure you get the gist of what's going on. But essentially now what I'm going to do is use the same circles, the same stamp set, but actually heat emboss with embossing powder now to add more interest and more texture. So I was actually looking for my black sparkly embossing powder, and of course, as I was cleaning up after this video, guess who found the embossing powder? Yep, that would be me. But because I couldn't find it at the time of making this video, I go ahead and I use just like a silver, and I think I use the plain black as well. I have two blacks. I have just a plain black and then one with a little bit of a glitter sparkle in there. But I'm going to repeat that same process with multiple stamps multiple times and just create some interest in this background. You know, different levels of the circles, different positioning. I have a bit of an idea of where my photos are going to go. They're going to go in that left-hand sort of gap that you can see. Other than that, beyond that, I don't really have a great deal of plan in my mind for this particular layout. I'm quite happy just to let it flow, and you know, I've picked the couple of word pieces. So when I'm thinking about a layout, I'm thinking about the elements that I will use. You know, journaling, background mixed media, there's generally some form of paper element in there, and that's what I'm going to work on now. So I'm just going to pull from my stash. I'm going to pull a couple of different pattern papers to mount my photos on. So these are from one of the waterfalls that we visited while we were in Bali. We did lots of waterfall tours, which was good in a way because they're beautiful, and a lot of them have these fantastic photo locations, but there are so many stairs. My legs ached for days, and luckily they have lots of massage places there as well, because oh my gosh, you had to walk so far to get to these stairs, and it was worth it. But when you're not used to stairs, it was quite a challenge. But yeah, these photos are from a visit to one of the waterfalls, and they had these really cool, which you may not be able to see too well, but these sort of nests that you could actually climb up into, and the waterfalls in the background, so you can have your photo taken in like the little nest, with that waterfall behind you. So really cool photo opportunities, and I'm so glad we did do those waterfall visits, even if my legs despised me afterwards. But it's a couple of cute little photos that I grabbed of the boys while we were out and about. And yeah, just going to mount those onto some different layers of patterned paper. So 2 layers, one that's a little bit darker and then one that's a little bit lighter. So that's going to help separate my, it's not a heavy background, but it's a detailed background. So by the time you look at the wood grain, and I think the wood grain works beautifully with that sort of nest kind of feeling in my photo. But yeah, definitely don't want those photos to get lost. They still need to be the star. And you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm always using tacky glue, so gluing everything down, making sure that everything is going to hold long term. Now, I had trouble with this. I couldn't decide if these should be on an angle the same as the photo, but I ended up making them straight, purely just because the background was straight, so the lines of the wood grain are fairly straight, and they just didn't look right on an angle. So end up leaving them straight, and I'm kind of looking at this going, I don't know, is this less is more? I'm loving the circles in the background. I'm going to pull out a black pen and just bring these together a little bit more with some doodled circles. But yeah, it was kind of hard to stop, and you'll see in the finished layout that off camera I did just add a couple of little black stars just to enhance that tiny bit more. But otherwise I'm really happy with this, and I hope that you enjoyed. Thanks so much for visiting.